up, YouTube? This is the Big Fish Network, home for Miami Dolphin fans worldwide. I'm your host, Dave Wade, back in the building once again. On today's show, I'm going to talk about the salary cap, full coaching staff, the current 53-man roster, and which players I cut or re-sign. But before I do that, I want to give a special shout out to all those that subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support and the love. Y'all been repping. I really been appreciating that, man. Y'all big fish ballers for life. Thank you for joining the network. And I just want to let y'all know, man, I wanted to create a fans channel that was more about strategy and optimism. It's a negative slant on this team from a lot of these damn reporters. It's a lot of bullshit that they've been talking about on this team that's really been pissing me off, and that's why I created this, man. Special shout out to all those that commented: Kyle Cockrell, JD Diesel, Big D, Al Morinaka, Cautious Noob, I see you, Jose Tenorio, I see you. And you know what, man, I agree with you, Jose. It's hard to be a loyal fan to this team with all the bullshit and drama that we done seen from this team. But I believe if we could just have a little bit more patience with the coaches and call out all of these corny ass reporters that's covering the team, call them out for their bullshit, man. And y'all could come to this network if y'all want good insight on the Miami Dolphins, man. Cut out all of these other fake networks that's covering the team, and y'all got the right place right here, man. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're gonna be fine. Let's talk about the salary cap. Currently, the cap is not set yet, but we expect it to be on top of the league when it comes to the available salary cap space by almost $10 million, according to Over the Cap's estimate. Plus, we got $2.2 million in remaining cap space from this year that we can have roll into next year's available cap space. And if the estimated cap comes to what most people think it's going to be, then you could assume that we're going to have about 62.8, maybe 63 million in total cap space. Despite having the most space in the league, we can create more space by cutting some players, which I'm going to let you know which players I think we should cut. And this is based on their age, my assessment of their play under Brian Flores, and how I see them fitting into the new scheme and the direction. Speaking of new scheme and direction, we're going to see our offense change dramatically in a good way. We know we're running the West Coast offense, which I know I'm real happy about. Like I said in previous videos, and I want us to run a hybrid scheme that is multiple. So, that's something that's going to take some time. I think our defense is almost set, in my opinion, and I would not make that many changes. I think maybe a few. I think we can win a chip with this defense. I think offense is what needs the most help. And just like the last two drafts and the last two free agencies, I think how we feel about Devontae Parker and Myles Gaskin is going to really determine the direction we should go in both the draft and free agency. How we feel about those players, especially Devontae Parker, because we've had him on the roster for a long time, and I just don't think he's a good fit for Tua. I think he needs to be cut, or maybe we could trade him for maybe like a fourth round, fifth round pick. I think a third round pick. I think we could possibly get a third round pick for him. Maybe to a team like the Raiders. They could use another receiver. Maybe to a team like I actually want to trade him to the NFC. So maybe like the Eagles. Maybe we can trade Devontae Parker to the Eagles. They got extra picks, so maybe we can get something out of them. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section on if that's a good idea or not. But I think whatever we do with Devontae Parker and I think Myles Gaskin, we got to make a decision on, which I know there's a lot of fans that still want him to be on the roster. I think he got to go. I think Myles Gaskin got to be cut or traded. Same thing with Devontae Parker. But let's talk about the coaching staff real quick. Recently, Mike introduced the full staff to the media at the Baptist Health Training Complex. They gave their initial impressions of the team and the tour, and I'm excited about this coaching staff a lot, especially the additions of Patrick Surtain and Sam Madison, the two quarterback legends that was on them 2000 teams locking it down, you know what I'm saying, with the stickums, locking it down. Patrick Surtain with that sticky coverage that he had on receivers, picking it off out of the air. We got them now as our coaches, and Howard is already legit. I think Byron Jones, we can maybe make him more of a complimentary cornerback. He could be a more complimentary cornerback to Xavier Howard. And I think that Igbenogany is definitely going to get better. We could possibly use another backup cornerback to pair along with Igbenogany, have them waiting in the wings until we decide what we want to do with Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. But overall, the team needs running back, wide receiver, backup center, right tackle, defensive tackle, middle linebacker, and backup corner is what I think our team needs are in total. But we look at the offense. Offensive coordinator is going to be Frank Smith, even though Mike McDaniel is going to call the plays. And some of his couple of quotes that he had from the Baptist Health Training Center, they asked him about Tua and they asked him about the players. Regarding the players, he said, we're going to build something that's tailored to the players to bring out what they do well. Most coordinators going to say that. That's kind of coach speak, but still optimism. I like to hear that. Also when asked, did he know much about Tua while in LA with the Chargers? He said, as I've been here studying him as a player, super excited. He's extremely accurate as a passer. His patience with things and what we're going to do is going to be really cool. So he has a good endorsement on Tua, and the fact that he pointed out his accuracy is something that I love that, because that lets me know that they get the big picture with Tua. You listen to these reporters, you listen to even Facebook. You got a lot of people posting stuff trying to talk bad about Tua, but these coordinators get it. Mike McDaniel gets it. You can tell Tua is probably one of the things that really attracted him to this job, is because it's an easy transition. He knows what to do with Tua already, and this is going to be he knows what to do with Tua. He instantly sees what to do with Tua automatically. And same thing with the coordinator, Frank Smith. The quarterback coach and passing game coordinator is going to be Darrell, Bevell. And the assistant quarterback coach is going to be Chandler Henley. Offensive assistant is going to be Mike Persons, Kobe Smith. And quality control is going to be John Grizzard. We kept him on the staff from Flores' staff. What I like about Darrell Bevell is his play calling with the Seahawks. He got experience drawing up plays for a similar quarterback in stature. Even though Russell Wilson is a little bit thicker, he's still around the same height. I believe Tua can be as good as Russell, like I said before, if we stay patient and have him learn this West Coast and hybrid system. What I don't like about Darrell Bevell is how Trevor Lawrence looked last year with the Jaguars. Bevell was the offensive coordinator under Urban Meyer and took over as the interim head coach when Urban got fired. Now, in my opinion, Trevor's looked like a bust. Y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think, but he's looked like a bust to me so far. And I don't know if that's because he just, if he's going through what Peyton Manning went through, his first 2 years, or if it's just that Bevell, didn't know how to maximize the most out of Trevor Lawrence. Hopefully he can do that with Tua. Like I said, I think it's good that Mike McDaniel's calling the plays, so that'll be a good thing. I thought that they didn't utilize the running game enough to me with the Jaguars. I felt like they passed the ball too much with Trevor. I mean, they didn't have ETN on the roster because he got hurt, but I still feel like they should have ran the ball more with James Robinson. Hopefully that, we got to get this running game on point, man. But they asked Bevell what he thinks about Tua, and he says he needs to see the ball coming alive out of his hand, but he's also excited about Tua. So Tua's going to have a good support staff. It's not going to be Charlie Fry. It's not going to be Gossi. We kept Eric Stewsville on the roster, but He's going to have a good supporting staff. I believe in these coaches. I believe they're going to be able to get him to be at his on 10 level. On 10 level for sure. But he's going to obviously be the starter. Jacoby Brissett is the backup. I think we need to replace Jacoby Brissett, so I think he needs to be cut. We just signed Clint Strevler, who played in the CFL and a little bit in the NFL. He's a versatile quarterback who I think can do a lot of things, and he can kind of be a better version of the fullback that we added, John Lovett. I think we can use him in a multitude of ways. So I mean, just add him as another weapon on top of versatile fullback John Lovett, along with the future running backs that I hope we add. It's already looking good. It's already looking good. Now, let me play devil's advocate real quick. Can Deshaun Watson or Jimmy G flourish in this offense? You damn right they can. You damn right they can. Deshaun Watson can definitely step into this offense. If we was to sign Deshaun Watson or trade for him somehow, yeah, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to keep it real. He can definitely fit in this offense. He ain't that much bigger than Tua. He's just an inch taller, you know, they the same weight. Yes, he can. He has the arm strength. He got the mobility. He can fit well in this offense, especially, you know, considering that he already got chemistry with Will Fuller and Duke Johnson from them both playing with the Texans. Jimmy G is proven already, so we know he can fit in this offense, and he might be rumored to be a player to watch that might be coming to this team. But I think Tua should be the starter. I think we should stick with him. I think we should block out all the noise and let him be the starter and build this shit around him. Brissett, man, he was just way too frustrating to watch last year, especially that Colts game and the Raiders game, he played pretty good. He played pretty good the Raiders game. That'll probably be his best game. But man, that Colts game and that Buccaneers game, throw the ball. Throw the ball. That's exactly what I was screaming at the damn television when Brissett was in the game, and I feel like we would have won those games if Tua was in there. So we got to get rid of him. I would target maybe Marcus Mariota or Ian Book as the backup. Ian Book got a chance to work with the staff at the Senior Bowl last year when Flores was head coaching that squad. And I think Ian Book is around the same stature as Tua. We actually played against him when he played with the Saints. And, you know, he didn't look too good, but I think seeing him at Notre Dame, I think he can fit real well in the West Coast, believe it or not. Ian Book, believe it or not, y'all. Don't sleep. Or Marcus Mariota, like I said, I think Mariota will be a great fit as well as a backup. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about that. Running back, associate head coach and running backs coach Eric Stoogsville, again, is going to be the coach coaching the running backs. Y'all already know the shade I done threw Eric. Eric, you know I done throwed you shade, man. Y'all, you get this goddamn running game right, man. Get our running backs right that we gonna add in this draft or add in free agency, man. Get this running game right. Get to the zone blocking scheme. You know what I'm saying? Work with Mike McDaniels, man. And let's get this run. Let's pound this goddamn rock. Tua had running backs at Alabama, man. You know, you really can't judge Tua unless he has a running game. I don't care what you say about him. Baker Mayfield got a running game. That's why we can judge Baker and say, you know what? Even with this solid defense that you got, even with these stud running back, man, if Tua was with Cleveland, if he was on the Browns with goddamn Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, if you replace Baker Mayfield right now and put Tua on that Browns team, they going to the playoffs. They going to the championship all day long. Because he had that at Alabama. He had Najee Harris. He had Damian Harris. He had Josh Jacobs. This is what he had to work with. We can't judge him unless we get him something similar to that. Period. So, the running backs we got on this team right now is running back Duke Johnson from the crib, running back Malcolm Brown, he the heavy back, running back Phillip Lindsay, running back Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, Patrick Laird, Jared Dokes, and Jordan Scarlett. I was a little disappointed with Flores last year for not putting in Jordan Scarlett and Jared Dokes. Shit, Myles Gaskin and Ahmed, if they not getting the job done, or if Malcolm Brown is hurt or he not getting the job done, why didn't we elevate Jared Dokes and put him at that power back role? Why didn't we elevate? I think Jordan Scarlett looked pretty good with the Gators. His Florida tape looked pretty good. I think we could have used him. I think he might have been even better than Myles Gaskin or Ahmed. And let me say this too, man. I know I've been shading Gaskin and Ahmed. They're not bad backs. They're good backs. I just don't think they're ideal for Tua. And I think they're more like scat backs. And they don't have the separation. I want all our offensive players to have separation. I want all of them to have to practice social distancing. Just like my dog Murph from Top Billing say, I want all our offensive players to practice social distancing from the defense. I want them to act like the damn defense got the Omicron. Separate, social distance, yak. That's what I want. Stiff arms, I want whatever you could do to separate. That's what I want, and I wasn't seeing that from them. I don't know if that's you, Studsville, but man, you gotta tighten up, goddammit. But of all of these backs, I would only keep, believe it or not, Duke Johnson and Jared Dokes, and I would keep Jordan Scarlett on the practice squad if he, can prove that he can be, a player that we can maybe see in the future. But I'll probably cut him too because it's better backs in the draft. So I'll probably cut him too. Yeah, I'll cut Jordan Scarlett. So I say Duke Johnson and Jared Dokes. And the reason why I don't keep Philip Lindsay on this list, and why we would have to choose between Philip Lindsay and Duke Johnson. I do not think we should keep both, and I'll tell y'all why in a future video. So y'all gotta stay tuned. There's a reason why I don't think we should keep both. But if I had to choose between the two, as much as I love Philip Lindsay, I would have to choose Duke Johnson. I'm gonna choose Duke. I think we should keep him and make him. I think he can fill the role that Myles Gaskin fills because they're around the same weight. And I think he's a better back than Myles Gaskin. I think Philip Lindsay would be it would be redundant. So Duke Johnson, I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll explain why later, but I'll leave it at that. But that's about it when it comes to the running backs. Myles Gaskin has a $2.6 million cap number for 2022. He would generate $22,000 in dead money if we cut him, with $2.5 million in savings for the Dolphins if we were to cut him. So we could keep him, and I would be. I mean, like I said, Duke Johnson, Jared Dokes is the ones that I'm interested in keeping out of all of those. Yeah, as far as free agents, I would sign Melvin Gordon, Leonard Fournette, or James Conner. I'll sign either one of those in a heartbeat if we get it. I would definitely trade for Saquon Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott in a heartbeat. And I know y'all think Ezekiel Elliott is done. I think he's done with the Cowboys. I think if he go to another team, that boy's still young. He can still tote the rock, man. He can still tote that pill. I would trade for Saquon or Ezekiel Elliott. Y'all let me know what y'all will do at running back. Leave that in the comment section also. Wide receivers. Our wide receiver coach is going to be Wes Welker. Offensive assistant is Aldrick Robinson, who I believe played with the 49ers and the Falcons. So he'll be able to teach some of the concepts that Mike McDaniel wants to instill with our wide receivers. They asked Wes Welker what he thought about Jalen Waddle, and all he could do was just glow about him. He described him as being Tyreek Hillish, with the ball in his hands, talked about his speed. And West was an elite route runner when he played. They called him the slot machine. So hopefully he can fix our slot position, because our slot position has been good with Mike Gesicki filling that role, but there hasn't been a lot of good slot play from our receivers there, in my opinion. I mean, Waddle has played in the slot, and in the West Coast system, you want to motion certain receivers to the slot, which I'll talk about in a future video. But in your 4 wide sets and your 3 wide sets, our slot receiver play has not been that good. So I think we need better slot receivers. Albert Wilson, he's been in the slot, but he's dropped some passes with Tua playing. He played good, that year with Gase, when him and Jakeem Grant was high-fiving down the field. But under Tua this last year, man, there was a pass, I think, by the end zone that he dropped that could have helped us win the game. That shit pissed me off. So he got to go. Jalen Waddle is obviously the stud on this team. Breaking records broke a record his rookie year. Mac Hollins, we got Will Fuller, Lynn Bowden Jr., who's been working with Tua. I know y'all been seeing footage of Tua with Lynn Bowden working out in the off season, you know what I'm saying, pulling that cable, getting boys getting right, man. Isaiah Ford, Allen Hurns. Only ones I keep is Jalen Waddle. Believe it or not, I will keep Will Fuller still. Even though he didn't play much last year and he got injured, Will Fuller the truth. Y'all watch the last 3 Texas teams, watch that tape. Will Fuller was out there balling, man. I don't give a damn that he got hurt. We need to keep Will Fuller at least a year or 2. I'm all for that. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, but I'm all for that. Mac Hollins, I would keep Mac Hollins, but I would try to find a replacement for Mac Hollins in the draft. I would find a Mac Hollins replacement. Someone who could learn under Mac Hollins as he continues to get up in age, but I would definitely keep Mac Hollins. And I will play him some more on offense. I think Mac Hollins can be a Nat Moore type of receiver for us. And I think we can fill that role with a younger receiver, but I think he can be a Nat Moore type receiver. I'm not saying he can hold any candle or hold the jockstrap of Nat Moore. I ain't saying he's nowhere close to Nat Moore level, but he can be Nat Moore-like in the role that he plays on this team. Anyone who knows how Nat Moore played with Dan Marino know what I'm talking about. That's for the older Dolphin heads who've seen him play. Allen Hurns would count $3 million against the cap if he was released, so I definitely cut Allen Hurns. He'll generate a $2.6 million savings with $433,000 in dead money. Like I said, Parker's gone. Albert Wilson's gone. Preston Williams, he's cut. Isaiah Ford is cut. I'm sorry, they got to go. We need better. We need receivers that fit McDaniel's system specifically. I think we should keep Bowden. You know what? Albert Wilson, man, I ain't gonna lie. It's something about the way he played. It makes you want to. It's always something that makes you want to still keep him on the roster, because you can see the explosion. You can see what he could possibly do. There's so many plays. Maybe we could run for him deep down the field, or I don't know. I want to cut him because he hasn't been producing and he dropped some passes, but there's potential there. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about that. There's no free agent receivers I would add, even though there's some good ones. Chris Godwin from the Buccaneers is a receiver to look out for. Christian Kirk is also a receiver that wouldn't mind adding, but I think there's better. I think this draft is deep with wide receivers who could fit in this West Coast scheme. So I don't know. I wouldn't want to break the bank for none of them. Tight ends, assistant head coach, tight end coach John Embry is going to be coaching this unit. We got Mike Gesicki, Durham Smythe, Adam Shaheen, Hunter Long, Blake Ferguson, and H-back Sethan Carter. I would tag Mike Gesicki. Right now we're in the franchise tag designation period to tag a player. We still got some time to do that, but I would tag Mike Gesicki or try and sign him to a long-term deal. Hopefully he's interested in the long-term deal, because if so, instead of using that money, that available cap money that we got to sign a free agent, I would use this money to sign our players. I would sign Mike Gesicki to a long-term deal. I don't give a damn what Omar Kelly says about him being a glorified slot receiver. No, he's not. He's a move tight end. If you know anything about football, Omar, there's a lot of coaches who won Super Bowls with move tight ends. He's a hybrid type of tight end. He's a move tight end, a vertical threat. If you go on Madden, there's different type of tight ends on Madden. There's a possession tight end, there's a vertical threat tight end, there's a blocking tight end. He's a vertical threat tight end. We just need to add the right blocking tight end. We might already have him on the roster in Durham Smythe, which he had a great year for a second-year tight end. Like I told y'all in previous videos, guys, he did a great job with the tight ends. Hopefully John Embry can do the same. I'm pretty sure he can, because he got some good years out of Kittle, and I think he can translate this to our tight end unit. Sethan Carter, I think he can be cut. He account for no dead money if released, and that'll free up his entire $2.5 million cap number. So I would cut Sethan because we just signed fullback John Lovett and Chris Streveler, quarterback Chris Streveler. So plus I think Xander Horvath and there's other fullbacks that I like, and there's other H-backs that I like in this draft as well. So I would get rid of Sethan Carter. Blake Ferguson, I'd get rid of him too. He's taking up a roster spot to me. We could fill that in other ways. Adam Shaheen, I would only cut Adam Shaheen because he's bad luck. Every time Tua try to throw to him in the end zone, it's a pick. So I get rid of Adam Shaheen. I don't like, I'm sorry, he got to go. He would account for $2.2 million against the cap with $333,000 in dead money if released. And Miami would add $1.9 million in space if we did release him. So I cut him. O-line, our O-line coach is going to be Matt Applebaum. Assistant O-line coach is Lemuel Jean-Pierre, who we kept from the Flores staff. And I want to talk about this O-line. So Liam Eichenberg right now is the left tackle. I told y'all in the previous video that I think he should go back to right tackle. I think we second guessed, the decision to keep him at right tackle, which he came out of college as a right tackle, I believe, from Notre Dame. And we moved him to left tackle because I guess we figured that our line wasn't playing that great. Unlike the fans, a lot of the fans, I do not think our O-line played as bad as y'all said they did. I just think our blocking scheme in the run game was not good. But I think in pass protection, it wasn't like Tua or Brissett was getting sacked like how Tannehill was. I mean, you look how young this O-line is. And look how much Tannehill was getting sacked with a veteran O-line with Bushrod and goddamn, come on, man. Y'all gotta stop this with this O-line. These guys are young. I think we could add depth. The backups is left tackle Greg Little, left guard Solomon McKinley, who I think should be starting at left guard. Austin Jackson should still be the left tackle. Deere needs to be replaced, or he needs to get better. So I think we definitely need a center. And a center does a lot for the O-line. Sometimes the problem is the center. Sometimes you just need a great center to anchor the O-line. You think about them great Marino teams. We had Dwight Stevenson, man. he anchored those O-lines. You don't have the center's the quarterback of the O-line. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe Dieter's not calling, maybe he's not getting the right calls. I don't know. Dieter, I don't mean to throw you under the bus, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need a great center. Right now, the backup is Greg Mance. We got Robert Jones at right guard as the backup, and we really don't have a backup at right tackle. So we could stand to use a right tackle. Offensive lineman Michael Dieter has a $2.8 million cap number with all of it able to come off the books should he be released. So he's still young, so I wouldn't release him. But the thing about Dieter is that if you look at his Senior Bowl tape, he was getting beat, man. One-on-one, he was getting beat. He didn't look too good. I mean, he looked better in the games, but even when you watch the games, he didn't really have to block nobody that much. You know, a lot of times he's good, you know, coming out of what they would call O-line U, which is Wisconsin. But he didn't look too good in one-on-one play, and I think that translated to his play in on film. Like he looks good at times, but it ain't consistent enough at the center position to me. So he could possibly be released. Jesse Davis got to go. He got to go. He got a $4.6 million cap number, but will create $3.6 million in cap space if released. He would account for $1 million in dead money, but I still release him. He got to go. He's the right tackle, and because Tua's a left-handed quarterback, we need an elite right tackle, and I think that's something that we get. Plus, he's getting up there in age. He's pushing 30, or he's in the 30s. He got to go. Offensive lineman Greg Little was scheduled to account for $1.5 million on Miami's cap this year, with all of it coming back to the team if he were to be released. But I would keep him because he's still young. He's just like the starters, they're developing, so I would keep Greg Little. Let's talk about this defense. Josh Boyer has remained as defensive coordinator, as y'all know. He's going to be working in tandem with senior defensive assistant Ryan Slowick. The defensive line is going to be monitored by defensive line coach Austin Clark, who stayed on the staff. Assistant D-line coach is going to be Derek LeBlanc. And we run a 3-4 scheme, a 3-4 disguise, 3-4 attacking scheme with left end Emmanuel Agba coming off the edge. We got defensive tackle Raekwon Davis, who we drafted out of Alabama, who's been making plays in the run game. I see some upside with him. I think he has a high ceiling if we just continue to work with him. Right end Christian Wilkins is versatile. He can play that nose in the middle whenever we switch to that nickel, or he can play in the 3-4 nose position, a 4 technique, 3 technique, and he can move to the right end position. He can drop back in coverage. He got a lot of versatility, a lot of athleticism. We've been using him as a fullback in the goal line packages. He's been catching touchdowns. I think he caught a couple of them this year. One of them where he did the dolphin leap to the crowd, damn near knocking people over. But yeah, I like Raekwon Davis and Christian Wilkins. And then our backups is left end Zach Seiler, who we got off waiver wires. Chris Grady did a good job picking up Zach Seiler from the Ravens. Then we got defensive tackle John Jenkins. Big John Jenkins been making plays in the run game, but again, he's another player that needs to be replaced, so I cut him as well. Right end Adam Butler, he'll be cut. He can come off the books. Like I said, I lean on the draft for the D-line. I feel good about it for the most part, but we have been getting gashed by misdirection runs. The Buffalo Bills been killing us on misdirection runs, man. That gotta stop. That has to stop, man. Those counter plays, we getting killed with that. So we need a defensive tackle who's agile enough to be able to shed from the center, shed from the guards, and get to the play and make a play. Defensive lineman Zach Seiler would generate a cap savings, though he likely would not be released. He still has a $2.6 million cap number with $500 in dead money. and $2.1 million in savings if he was released, but I'm keeping Zach Seiler. Let's look at our linebacker room. Linebacker coach Anthony Campanile has remained on the staff. Assistant linebackers coach Steve Ferentz and outside linebackers coach Ty McKenzie will be monitoring that group. And when you look at this group, I love the starters, although I think the Landon Roberts needs to be maybe not replaced. I wouldn't mind keeping him for another year. I think he made some plays for us this year in the middle. He's definitely a real good linebacker, but I think we can have a younger linebacker maybe be mentored by him for a year. So we can look to the draft for that. But we got left linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, who's been making sacks. He got to stay healthy. Middle linebacker Jerome Baker, who had 100 tackles this year. Last year he got that contract and he lived up to it. He lived up to it this year. To me, I think he made plays. Then you got right left end Jalen Phillips, who we drafted out of the U, who he started off slow, but by week 7, week 8, that boy was out there headhunting, man. Jalen Phillips was out there headhunting, and again, Chris Greer, you're doing a good job with the draft. I don't care what nobody say. I see it. Look at our backups. Backup left linebacker Brendan Scarlett, who we claimed off waivers. Good at special teams, but he could be replaced. Middle linebacker Duke Riley. I'm keeping Duke Riley on the team. Middle linebacker Calvin Munson. And then we got right linebacker Sam Igwoven, which I'm keeping him on the team because he's another hidden gem that we found that we turned into a diamond. Calvin Munson, he's scheduled to account for $1.2 million against the cap for the Dolphins in 2022. With just $20,000 in dead money, if he were to be released, he would then be $1.1 million in cap savings. Y'all would cut him. We need a thumper to pair along with Baker. That's just simple and plain. Baker's good, especially in coverage, but he doesn't fit the mold of previous stud Dolphins linebackers like Nick Bonacani, Arthur Dawes, Zach Thomas. He's not one of he ain't built from that ilk. He's not built from that ilk, but he is a real good linebacker. We just need a thumper to pair with him. We need an asshole, man. An asshole to fill that spot, who's also going to be a commander and a quarterback. I think Baker could be the quarterback of that defense, but I think we can find somebody better. I wouldn't sign a free agent, even though there will be some available, like Arden Key, Nick Vigil, Hassan Reddick. He fits that. He could fit that mold, but he's gonna want to get paid. There's linebackers in this draft that could fit better. I'm not gonna sign none of them. Let's look at our corners. Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, once again. Sam Madison, he's gonna be the cornerbacks coach, passing game specialist. Matthew Araujo is gonna be the assistant defensive backs coach, and then Pat Surtain is gonna be the defensive assistant. I think they should have had it the other way around. Surtain should be the assistant defensive backs coach. But again, like I said earlier in this video, I want y'all to get Igbenogany right, because I think he has a lot of potential. If y'all look at his tape with the Auburn Tigers, he played well against Alabama and guarded Devontae Smith and some of the other receivers that they had. Henry Ruggs, he did a pretty good job guarding them. So he got potential. He just need the right coaching. But you look at our corners, we got Xavier Howard, who's a unicorn, Byron Jones, Nick Needham in the slot, Igbenogany, Justin Coleman, who he needs to be cut, Jamal Perry, I would keep him on practice squad if he's willing to stay. Elijah Campbell, I would keep Elijah Campbell. Maybe Elijah Campbell can pair with Igbenogany. He might have that type of potential. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about that. Eventually we're gonna have to move on from Howard and Jones, so I would feel that later in the draft, maybe round 6 or 7. Let's look at our safeties. We got safety coach Steve Gregory, and our safety unit is getting better, especially with the addition of Javon Holland, who's a monster, man. He's a monster. He's probably even, in my opinion, he could be better than Minka Fitzpatrick. He could be better than Minka Fitzpatrick. We traded him to the Steelers, but people could say he's already better than Minka Fitzpatrick. Clayton Fejedelem, I think he could be cut. Jason McCourty, bye-bye to Jason McCourty. He's too old. Sheldrick Redwine, he could be cut. Then you got the strong safeties, Brandon Jones and Eric Rowe. I would actually keep Eric Rowe. I know some YouTubers have said that he should be cut, but I would keep Eric Rowe. He got a $5.1 million cap number, but only $525,000 would be dead money owed to a player not on the roster if he were to be cut. And we would add an additional $4.6 million in space by releasing him. We could release him and add the space. With the emergence of Javon Holland and Brandon Jones in the secondary, he could be a cap casualty, but I would actually keep Darrell. Rowe. He does a good job against tight ends. We haven't really been, besides Mo Alley Cox, Mo Alley Cox went off on us with the Colts, but other than that, I think he's done a pretty good job against tight ends. Let's look at our special teams. We kept Danny Crossman as our special teams coach. Then you got assistant special team coach Brennan Farrell, who will be working with him. We need returners. I wouldn't mind bringing back Jakeem Grant. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hopefully the Bears cut him, or maybe they cut Tariq Cohen, who I would love to have Tariq Cohen on this squad. But we need returners. Waddle can do it, but I'd rather use him sparingly. I want to use him at returner, but not as the main returner. I would use him sparingly, maybe on trick plays. But I think we need a dedicated returner who can be used on offense. And the way Shula did it back in the days, he usually used a running back or he used a receiver. And usually, whatever receiver he drafted to be a eventual starter, they had to work their way up the starter by contributing in the kicking game. So I want to continue that trend. Mac Holland, he's the stud on this unit, who's also made plays in the passing game on intermediate routes and down the field. Tua threw a couple of nice bombs to Mac Hollins down the field. Safety Clayton Fejedelem, a special teams ace for this team, has a $2.7 million cap number with none of it guaranteed. We've used Fejedelem on fake punts and trick plays, but I'd cut Fejedelem, man. I want all dynamic players on the team. We could train some of these good offensive players to be special teams players. Then you got our strength coaches. Head strength coach Dave Paloka, he's remained on the squad. And we need Paloka. I need you to get John Lovett to get stronger, and I need you to get a couple of players. Get Tua stronger. Get Tua in the gym, man. Get his upper body stronger. I think Tua needs to put on maybe 10 more pounds, get up to maybe 225. And then, to have that, he need to have more upper body strength. His lower body strength is good calf muscles, you know what I'm saying? Good quads. I can tell he's been squatting, in the gym, but he need to get his upper body strength good to take sacks. Hopefully it don't take away from his quick release and his accuracy. But and then we got the front office. The front office, y'all got to do a good job of being patient. Like I've been saying time and again, I'm gonna beat it through y'all heads. Be patient with Tua. Be patient with the coaching staff that y'all just brought in. Don't do them like how y'all did Flores. All right, don't come on now, goddammit. Don't do them how y'all did Flores. Us fans, we really don't like the fact that y'all fired Flores. But we finna roll with McDaniel. We gonna see what y'all do, and we gonna keep rooting for this team. Fins up. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section about this coaching staff, about this 53-man roster. Tell me what y'all think we need to do in the draft. What players do y'all see in the draft that y'all like? I'm gonna be talking about players from the Hula Bowl, from the Senior Bowl, HBCU players. I'm going to talk about draft picks that I like. I'm going to do the mock draft soon. So y'all tap in. That's coming up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button so you can get it first. Fins up till next time, signing off. TBFN. Y'all know what it is.